Early morning Old Firm preview. Does it get any better than this? Probably does get a wee bit better, but make sure you go check out the combined 11 that was uploaded probably about 10:30 this morning, even though this fits at 9:45. But it's Old Firm hype, it's Old Firm week. The game is tomorrow. We have a lot of news to get through, but if I was to give my initial thoughts, I'll actually give my initial thoughts on the game, and then I'll give my score prediction at the end, right? Last few times we went to Celtic Park, it's been an absolute catastrophe, right? 4-0, 3-0. Oh, just not very good. Not very good at all. If I'm being honest, just fucking dug meat on a platter. It is what it is. We've got to move on. I mean, Beale's come in. I don't think we're going to get pumped that much. Would I be surprised if it happened? No, I wouldn't be. I mean, we seen who had, I can't remember who came out. Was it Richard? Richard Goff came out the other day. Said he basically just said what I just said. The last few times we've been pumped, so I'm not expecting Rangers to do anything. A draw would probably be a good result. Well, I don't think he said a draw would be a good result, but he says like the best Rangers can do is a draw, right? And people are getting on his back about it, right? You'd rather him come out and say the fucking truth. Now, I'm not saying we can't get it. I'm not saying we can't beat them, because of course we can beat them. It's a fucking one-off game. There's nothing really to fear. We're 9 points behind. It's not like if we lose it, like, I mean, technically, yes, the league would be over if we lost it, because, I mean, there's no way you're mounting 12 points, but we have known since fucking Gio gets sacked that this league's done, man. I know you could say, oh, well, we beat them at the start of January, but realistically, against a team like Celtic, who's 9 points ahead, it was always going to be a tough task. But again, he's got to go for it, right? I don't want this. I don't want us to half go for it and then like a week later, Tav, you're like, oh, Celtic better be ready for the next game. Him and Lundstrom, etc., etc., talk fucking good games, but it's all about stepping up to the task, man. If you give your all, you make no mistakes, and you still get beat, I can accept that to a degree, right? Because obviously it's Celtic, you still can't accept it, but most of the times we get pumped, you're just gifting them fucking goals. It's not like Celtic are completely ripping Rangers open. It's Tav not focusing on throw-ins. Lundstrom and players like that just being shite, not clearing their lines, man. It needs sorted out. I mean, Goldson did an interview the other day talking about how he thinks Rangers have underachieved since he's been there, and I absolutely agree. And you know what? Fair play to Goldson. I've slathered a lot about Goldson on this channel, but I'll give a player credit where credit is due, and he spoke the truth. But wee bit of gossip about Rangers, but I'm not actually going to talk about that in that vid. That might do it for Fog Football later on, the gossip column. We've done my combined 11, so make sure you check that out. But in terms of the last 10 meetings, it's funny because this just sums up like the new era, which is Celtic beating Rangers in most games, and in the old era, where we pumped them under Gerrard. But of course, I know Gio beat them in the cup, right? 2-1, blah, blah, blah. But as you can see, 4 wins apiece, 2 draws, 2 clean sheets, 16 goals for Celtic, 14 goals for us. I mean, it looks fairly even, but, that is over the course of a few seasons, and it's not that even, if we're being honest, going into this game. I mean, we've got a be real. At Ibrox, we should have beat them. And then, so in Beale's 2 games, right, he's had a loss and a draw, but it could have been so different, right? Especially the game at Ibrox. Should have won that. Really should have won that. The game at Hampden, I think he just picked the wrong team, and when he eventually got the right team, he played well for a period, and then we just didn't do fuck all for the last 25 minutes, which again was a bit depressing. But yeah, so I wouldn't read too much into those statistics personally. But says, oh, Celtic have still got their advantages. I don't want to be reading that sort of pish. Goldson says, though, he hasn't been enjoying wins, which is fair enough. I kind of going into his interview a wee bit more, but in terms of like team news, there's actually not really an awful lot coming out. Raskin, Beale's keeping his cards close to his chest. Hopefully he plays, man, or else, like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, see the difference of playing Raskin in the middle of that field compared to like Kamara or Lundstrom. I can't state how fucking big that is, man. It's like, oh, Scooby Doo, but yeah, and that's us really at the end of this video, right? If we have any sort of hope of winning this league, we need to win, right? We need to fucking do it. We seen it last year. We didn't. What was the game? Was the Callum missed like 2 opportunities, but he scored one. But I think we drew one each at Parkhead last year, and towards the latter end of the season, I think we did. Not really 200% sure about that, but like, even if this win doesn't do anything in terms of a title push, right? We've got to fucking do it regardless, man, Got to do it regardless. And let's be real, right? if we beat Celtic twice, big if, right? Because I mean, it's a big if for obvious reasons, but that leaves the gap at 3 points, which means there's 6 games where we would need Celtic to lose, or maybe draw to, for example. Which I don't think's out the question. I don't see why that's like an impossible task. Yes, I know they've literally won every fucking game this season, bar one against St Mirren. Of course, they drew against us, so it's not the easiest of tasks. But there's no reason that if we win both our games that their metal couldn't start to go, man. That they could fucking bottle it. There's no reason why that couldn't happen. Now, is there a reason to suggest it could happen? Nope. There's no reason it couldn't happen. All right, and you've got to have faith. So you've got to win this game, and you've got to lay the smack down. But I'm wrecked. I have to go walk the dog, and it's time for a wee score prediction. And I'm going to go with fuck. I don't know what I'm going to go with, man. Do you go with blind faith, or do you go with what you actually think's going to happen? You know what? I can see a very similar performance to Ibrox. I feel like we can turn up, be the better team, but still draw. So I'm going to go with one each. I want to sit here and say Rangers are going to win, right? But I'm sorry, I just don't see it happening. It would be too good to be true, in my opinion, man. And you can just see that smug bastard Ange. Well, mate, Rangers were fucking outstanding today, but we clawed it back. We never stop. Don't know if that was a good Aussie accent, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't, right? It wasn't a good Aussie accent. Foster's, good call. That's more of a Aussie accent. But you know what? I'm going one each. Who's getting the goal? I don't know. Partly Morelos has been told he's done with Rangers, so I don't even know if he'll be featuring. But it is what it is, troops. Until next time, I'm buzzing for the game. Will I be buzzing at come half two? Probably not. But until then, peace.